Welcome to Vanija. We cover global trade topics, making complex rules clear for beginners. Today, we cover one of the most critical documents in international shipping, the commercial invoice. This paper is essential both for payment and for clearing customs. Did you know that 65% to 80% of documents presented to banks for payment are rejected on the first try? This often happens because of small mistakes on just one document, the invoice. When you sell goods internationally, your commercial invoice must satisfy two different authorities with completely separate rule sets, the bank and the local government's customs authority. This video compares the specific requirements for a commercial invoice under banking rules, known as UCP 600, against local customs regulations. By the end, you will understand how to draft an invoice that satisfies both the bank for payment and customs for smooth border clearance. We will focus on 4 areas where these rules conflict. First, we will cover the different goals of the bank and customs. Second, we will discuss how to describe your goods. Third, we will look at signature and formality requirements. Finally, we will explain why they care about your price, which is known as the valuation trap. Before we get into the details, it is important to remember that the commercial invoice is the foundation for getting paid and moving your product across a border. I am your host for Vanija. Our goal is to help you master the commercial invoice so you can avoid payment delays and shipment problems. The core challenge is that your invoice must please 2 different masters, the bank, which handles the payment, and the customs authority, which controls the border. Fail one, and your shipment or payment could be stopped. To emphasize the risk, remember that high statistic. 65% to 80% of documents fail on the first presentation. Most of those errors are preventable mistakes on the commercial invoice. Now that we understand the central challenge, let's look at the first key difference, what the bank and customs are actually trying to achieve with your invoice. For the bank, the invoice is a confirmation. They follow international banking rules called UCP 600. The bank simply wants the invoice to prove you shipped exactly what was promised in the payment agreement, so they can release the funds. For local customs authorities, the invoice is a declaration. They use it to calculate the correct tax or duty you owe and to determine if your goods meet all local laws for entry. Consider the invoice like a passport. The bank is like a cashier. They quickly check your name and amounts to cash a check. Customs is like airport security. They check the contents of your bag to make sure everything is legal and taxable. This leads us directly to our next key idea, how you describe the goods. This is where many common errors occur. Under UCP 600, the bank requires strict correspondence. If the bank's letter of credit says red silk shirts, your invoice must say red silk shirts. Even a slight difference, such as silk shirts red, could lead to rejection. Customs is different. They do not care about the bank's paperwork. They need detailed information to assign the Harmonized System, or HS code, which is used for calculating taxes. They need technical details like specific materials, country of origin, or safety certificates. Now, let's move on to the formalities. Do you need a signature or an official stamp on your commercial invoice? For the bank and UCP 600, the rule is surprisingly simple. A commercial invoice does not need to be signed or stamped unless the letter of credit specifically demands it. Banks are paper processors. They focus on the content. Customs, especially in certain regions like the Middle East, often requires official stamps. These legalized or consular invoices must be signed and stamped by an embassy or government official. Without these marks, customs can reject your goods, even if the bank has approved the payment. Finally, we come to the valuation trap. Both the bank and customs look at your invoice price, but for entirely different reasons. The bank's concern is straightforward. They ensure the total value on your invoice does not exceed the maximum payment amount agreed upon in the letter of credit. They usually do not check the specific calculation, only the final number relative to their limit. Customs is trying to prevent two types of fraud. First, under-invoicing, where you report a lower price to avoid paying full taxes. Second, over-invoicing, which is used to move money illegally. If your price looks unusual, Customs may disregard it and tax you on a government-determined true value. We have covered the 4 main conflict points between banking rules and customs laws. Now, let's quickly summarize the most important takeaways and suggest an immediate action step. To summarize, banks prioritize correspondence to ensure payment matches the promise. Customs prioritizes classification and true valuation to ensure proper taxes are collected. Because a single paperwork error is the biggest reason for payment failure, your immediate action should be to check local customs rules first. This ensures you include any required stamps or extra technical details that the customs boss needs to let your goods cross the border. Thank you for watching this Vanija tutorial. If this comparison was helpful, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more trade topics explained simply. Leave any questions or comments about commercial invoices below.